Dad Life presents Screen Geeks, a live TV and film talk show. Tonight we're going to share our first reactions to the new Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I do it and I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screen Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, on this journey of Screen Geekery is my good friend, Ralph. Ralph, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Actually, go ahead.
But what's funny is, like, I feel like with Discord, like, I feel like we're talking all the time, so it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's been since the Batman, which is already out on, like,
exactly, yeah. The Batman was the last Screen Geeks that we did. And I mean, really, that's kind of the last big tentpole movie. Maybe Sonic 2 for both of us was another tentpole movie, but yeah, maybe we should have done Sonic 2. I think
we should have. I loved it.
But still happy to be here, happy to be talking about Stranger Things 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, not Stranger Things, Doctor Strange. Good Lord. I don't know why I kept calling Doctor Strange Stranger Things as we were getting ready to go to it today. But anyway, really pumped to talk about it. Let's see. A spoiler, I didn't think this movie was very good. Oh no, Boom 68. I've heard that from a few people. I'll be curious to kind of get a sense of what everybody thought here of the film, because it seems to be kind of hit or miss. Like, some people love it, some people are kind of medium about it, and then some people just think it's the worst Marvel movie ever. So I don't know. There's a lot to talk about here, but let's say hello to the chat. We got to say hello to Bearded Toy Guy, John Rhodes, Dartherian is here, Toy Connections, Dartherian, Charlie Weaver, hello, Dartherian. Geeks of the Screen, Kayla Silva, what up, witches and wizards? I'll do Dartherian, why not? Probably a small crowd tonight, considering Vince Diaz, Boomstick Saints, A Troy, and Studio Henge. So tired today. Saw Strange 2 late last night. Cobweb is here as well. Just stop by to say hi. Couldn't see the movie since my son got COVID. Oh no, Cobweb. I'm so sorry. Colleen.
How old's your kid? Are you sure you can take him?
Well, it's a scary movie. This is probably the scariest Marvel movie. It was a horror movie for sure. Both of our wives are here. Ralph, we got Colleen and Stevie in the house. But yeah, here you got 4, whatever. Okay. Yes. Firstly, this is our first time doing this stream on Geek Dad Life 2. So the thing with the YouTube algorithm is basically they want you to just do like one type of thing. So doing this big kind of general, a bit of everything channel, they seem to hate. So once this channel started having popular toy videos, any other type of video, they would not show it to the same like group of people, and the views would be way lower on the TV or film stuff, including Screen Geeks. So strategy, we'll try it out, see if it works. But doing all of the TV and film stuff on this Geek Dad Life 2 channel, and sure, it might be starting over a little bit, regrowing it a little bit. But maybe in the long run, it'll actually work out better and allow this Geek Dad Life 2 stuff to kind of have a really nice baked in TV and film group of people, including our hardcore viewers, like everybody that's here tonight with us. But
it's weird. It's weird starting over. I started up a new channel last week.
Yeah.
And it's that trying to get to 100 subscribers to make sure you can get the URL.
Yep.
Because like trying to find this through just a YouTube search is impossible. I knew about this channel for a couple weeks. Couldn't find it until you posted a link.
Yep.
I tried everything. So yeah, hopefully spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word. We get to 100 subscribers, then we can have a unique URL. And then it's a quest for 1,000. Then you can put ads in it and stuff like that. And then it's a quest for the silver play button.
So yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. What are you gonna say?
I restarted Cue the Music, an old podcast I did back in 2007. So right now I don't have the unique URL, but it is vinyl. The show is vinyl related. But in the YouTube code, in the crazy URL, it says 4XLP. So if people who collect vinyl know, that would be a record with 4 LPs in it. Yeah. So it says 4XLP sex. like that's in.
Keep it.
I know, and so I'm like, oh, if I get 100, I should just keep it.
No, don't. Go cue the music. But anyway, all right. So that's all of that. So if you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button. We were at like 60 something before I hopped on here tonight. So we're on our way to 100, and then we'll just keep it growing. And yeah, hopefully. I don't know. The thing with YouTube is, and I tell this to anyone, you got to keep experimenting. You got to keep trying new things.
Right.
Got to keep refining. Got to keep kind of honing, what works, what doesn't work, and we'll see what's going. Yeah, I figured Kayla would do that. Anyway, so yeah, exactly. We shared on the Patreon and all that fun stuff. Okay, Ralph, this movie, you saw it today. I saw it yesterday.
I got out of it an hour and a half ago.
An hour. So you got the really fresh, the freshity fresh.
Yeah. And again, anybody in the chat, spoilers.
Oh, you're right. Thank you for that. Let me put it up here.
Just want to make sure.
You're right.
Before we get too deep, because I'm going to start mouthing off.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it yet, we won't be offended. Leave. And then come back once you see it. Which again, people will comment on like old Screen Geeks like weeks after we do it live. Anyways, Ralph.
Yes.
First thoughts on the return of Sam Raimi to Marvel.
I know, it's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been like 10 years.
Made a movie in like 8 years, 9 years?
10. 9.
Was Spider-Man the last movie he made?
No, the last movie he made was Oz the Great and Powerful in 2013.
Goodness.
It's like 9 years. And I mean, he did the Evil Dead series, the Ash versus the Evil Dead. And I haven't watched it. Being a huge Evil Dead fan and being a huge Sam Raimi fan, I need to just watch it. We just got rid of our Netflix too. Very excited to see this. Very excited.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Doctor Strange fan, but I thought the movie was fine.
Oh, okay.
I thought the visuals were amazing.
And
I kind of feel like for me, I enjoyed it. It was really fun. I had a good time. I'm just not like super devoted to the characters. I mean, I'm glad I made it through WandaVision. We all remember Screen Geeks going through WandaVision and me having my personal ups and downs, and then not getting through What If. I made it up to and through the Doctor Strange episode, and I'm like, everyone seems to love this. I'm not connecting to it, so I just kind of stopped. Watching. So I feel like kind of like Sam Raimi. I'm in the same boat. Here's this story, and he's gonna make it look cool, and I'm gonna like how it looks. But I don't feel like he was connected to the material that much.
Interesting. Okay.
It felt I liked it. I liked it. I felt like I was more in it for moments as opposed to the overall story. Like there's definitely like vignettes in this movie that are like
Charlie Weaver calling out the music battle was just
that's the thing. The music battle, the kaiju fight, the spoilers, but the Professor X in the sort of mind zone thing. Like there were like these amazing sort of visuals and set pieces, but the story connecting them I didn't find super compelling. I liked Wanda's arc. And I didn't feel as like engaged in Stephen Strange's story.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked to explore more of America's story.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the end, spoilers, when he has a moment with the alternate reality Christine,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's her name.
Yep.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But I wasn't
Yeah.
super like I
Yeah.
wasn't super invested in their relationship to
It
be
wasn't
like
like
it wasn't an emotional thing.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It wasn't like, um, End of Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, like, or any of
Right.
those types of like where the breakup is happening or whatever, and it means something to you.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
The relationship there, the chemistry has just never landed to where
Mhm.
it makes sense that, Strange is that beat up about it.
Right. Right. But I mean, I like had a great time
Mm-hmm.
and I would watch it again. I feel like if as soon as it hits Disney Plus, I will just scrub the timeline for specific scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I very much enjoyed was that there was a lot of stuff going on Marvel wise,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of stuff that probably went over my head. But I
Yes.
feel like there was even more going on Sam Raimi wise as far as
Mm.
references to other things, like
Oh, sure. Like,
flying eyeballs, Bruce
yes.
Campbell hitting himself,
Yep.
like all the sort of Sam Raimi stuff was very
Yes.
self-referential,
Yes.
and it was like me and Stevie, like it was a constant like like we both laughed at the same times at all the
Mm-hmm.
sort of Sam Raimi-ness of it all.
Yeah,
Um,
I felt like Colleen and I were the only like Sam Raimi, or even like had a clue to what like the Sam Raimi stuff, because we would
yeah,
laugh at things, or like when Bruce Campbell, like the camera's like, hey, like we were cheering, and then like nobody else said anything.
I was really hoping he would be an alternate Doctor
Yes,
Strange.
that was, yeah. I think when we talked about it, I don't know, a while ago.
Yeah, because he Sam Raimi in the 80s and 90s looked straight out of the Doctor Strange comics. He looked like
Hmm.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So I was like really hoping for it.
Hmm.
Um,
But did you
but
like, even though it was very much just a minor kind of thing, did you like, I felt like the end credits is what like the story arc of
yeah,
his thing
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. Right down the barrel of the
Yes.
camera. It's over. Um, I mean, I love seeing him. I just wish I feel like he could be in these movies as a
Mhm.
great character,
Yes.
and he doesn't have to be just like this joke that
Hmm.
just is in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like the amount of Marvel characters out there in the universe, Bruce Campbell could definitely play somebody.
Yes.
And I'm like, he could have been on the Illuminati.
Yeah.
I don't know who, but yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I wish I want to see Bruce Campbell more stuff. I gotta watch that stupid Evil Dead series. I don't know why I haven't. It's all him. It's all him.
I know.
Um,
It's like, are you even a fan?
yeah.
Bearded toy guy. The only thing I didn't like was how easily Wanda changed her mind at the end. I believe 3 separate people told her that those kids already have a mother, and those aren't fair. But I think seeing the fear on their kids' faces is what
It
changed.
was that moment in Monsters Inc. when Sully scares
Yes.
the kid and Boo sees
Yes.
him as a monster. It's the
Yes.
exact same thing. I like that ending because
Yep.
guess what? It wasn't, I mean, there was some of this, but it wasn't a giant fight
Yep.
in a swirly red sky.
Yep. Agreed.
It's exactly what I wanted in
Hmm.
the WandaVision series,
Yep.
when I was like, I like the fight between the two visions
Yep.
where it stopped being a fight and became a conversation.
Yep.
And I'm like, and then Wanda, who's having this, struggle mentally,
Hmm.
she just has this beat him up fight with Agatha.
Yep.
So it's like, I like that they threw her into the house
Hmm.
and Doctor Strange, aka Darkman,
Hmm.
told America not yet, because
Yep.
he knew that the kids' reactions would
Yep.
be, that. And I liked that. They were
Yeah.
still punching. They're
Yeah.
still punching and stuff, but I did like that the whole point of the movie was really Wanda's story.
She had, I think her arc was the strongest, right?
Yeah.
And I did like Strange's arc as well, just because. And again, the fact, you know, that his relationship with Christine is kind of meh. There isn't that much chemistry there, but at least, you know, she kind of said like, you always have to be the one with the knife, right? And that's, you know, he has to be the one to shoulder the burden. And he had this arc, and the way he was actually able to kind of see the arc was seeing the failure of his other selves and seeing that, okay, every time I try to put it all on myself to save the day, and I fail in some form or fashion. And so he kind of has that moment at the very end where he's like, actually, no, this is for you to finish. And then, you know, hands it over to America. I like that arc, even though it wasn't at the smoothest arc. And I feel like you're right. I think Wanda had like the smoothest and most satisfying arc in a way.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, like I'm sitting there halfway through the movie. I'm like, you know, and I guess I'm glad I watched all of WandaVision. I'm glad I finished it out because, you know, I mean, I would have got the gist of it while watching.
That's a good question. Like, do you think people that didn't watch WandaVision going at this would be confused? There was a lot of Loki references stuff as well. Like, the thing is, I feel like in Phase 4, they aren't giving a crap if you don't know anything about Marvel, because they're going deep into stuff and not bringing you up to speed on any of it. You just have to know everything, apparently.
Right. You have to do your homework.
Yeah. Is that good or bad right now for Phase 4? Is that because Phase 4 has been very hit or miss, save for Spider-Man No Way Home, which I think was a slam dunk. A lot of people feel that way. Aside from that, it's kind of been a mixed bag for Phase 4 so far.
I haven't seen Eternals still. My interest in Marvel is like, I'm getting overloaded with Marvel. I still haven't watched Eternals. It's so long. I hear all these movies are too long, which is one of the things I appreciated about this one.
2 hours. This one was 2 hours, right?
Yeah, right.
This one felt tight,
right? Which was nice. I knew going into it that I wasn't going to have to like make sure I go to the bathroom before and don't drink any water. Like the Batman, I was like super concerned about. That at least had me like sitting in my seat. I was compelled, and I was luckily made it through without having to get up. But this one, it was nice that it was nice and short. Nothing really dragged, but I mean, the front half of it is a lot of people talking to each other about stuff. And so, I mean, I don't know how much of this stuff was from, you know, What If. But and then I guess one of the characters in the Illuminati, Black Bolt, is from the show Inhumans.
Inhumans, yeah.
So I didn't know that. I'm like, who was the guy who played Black Bolt? And then it's like, oh yeah, Inhumans. I guess I should, like, I don't know if I need to see that. I don't need like. No, it's awful. I don't think I need to see that. Terrible. But
can we talk about the Illuminati? Because I thought the reveals were great. John Krasinski as Reed Richards, been fan casted forever.
Yes.
So that was cool.
And I had no idea going into this. Like, I've been on Twitter the last couple days. I haven't seen anybody spoil this
trailer.
Well, Professor X, we heard his voice in the trailer.
Yeah.
And so we all assumed. What we probably didn't assume was he'd show up in the yellow hover chair.
Yep.
To the theme from the 90s TV show. And I mean, listen, like, that's pretty ballsy. It's pretty.
Is it the best part of the movie? Because that's what I felt like.
It was like, it looked stupid and awesome at the same time. Like, it looked like the cartoon, and I was like, as soon as Elfman put in that 90s thing, I was like, oh shit, because we all knew he was showing up,
of course.
And when they said we have one more member that needs to join us, and we all knew it was going to be Professor X.
Yeah.
And so for them to do the hover chair and the 90s music, totally, like, I think caught us off guard, caught me off guard, to where I was like, that's kind of nuts. Like it was like a double surprise.
Oh, it was. JT Kell says cheer to the theater. I did as well. Colleen was like, shut up. I was like, no, it's the thing. Yeah!
Because they still were able to trick you. Like you sat there thinking to yourself, oh, here he comes. Here comes Professor X. It's gonna be Patrick Stewart. I am the smart guy. But you didn't see that coming. There's no way anyone saw that coming.
No. And I loved, but the thing is, like, I already had like the cheer for the John Krasinski. I was like, woo!
I was excited, really
dude. Crowd, because I think I was the only one like wooing any of this stuff. But anyway, the John Krasinski wooed. And then Captain Carter, I think we saw that in the trailer. So
in the trailer, we saw the shield.
The shield, yeah.
She was great though.
Captain Carter over there. She was awesome. Love that. Yeah. And then Rambo
Captain
as
Marvel.
the Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. That was awesome as well. And then what's that?
Can we talk about Black Bolt's death a little bit?
Well, okay, let's talk about how Wanda just. It was very, to me, reminiscent of, and I haven't finished the season, but season 1 of another show that you do, that you talk about, Invincible, Invincipod.
Oh,
we're just spoiler alert.
Yeah, guys.
A whole bunch of people
watch Invincible
get destroyed. Very similar to this. This is what's kind of cool about multiversal stories is it's kind of like you just do a one-off. This is one universe. You can just kill all these characters that you wouldn't kill in a Prime universe. And but let's just talk about it, because Wanda makes quick work out of all of them, and all have, and this is where it's great, it's Bruce Campbell, because all of the kills, chef's kiss. I thought they were just over the top amazing. But you want to talk about what's his name first?
Black Bolt was gnarly.
Oh.
So he kills people with his voice.
Yes.
He could explode people with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And she closes off his mouth. And he's like, sure. And then the effect where his head just like sort of just goes boop, pops just a little bit and then caves in, and then his nose bleeds. It was gnarly. Reed Richards.
I didn't think, I was like, if anybody survives it, it's him, right? Because he's elastic. Like, what could she do to him? And then she just like disintegrates him.
She like turns him into spaghetti.
Yes. Oh,
but can I just say, when he popped in the foreground, when all the Illuminati were there except for Reed Richards, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. How's the stretching on Reed Richards has never looked good, ever.
True.
And then he pulled in the frame, and it was a very subtle.
Yes.
Sort of stretch into the thing. Yep. And I was like, oh, okay. I think they pulled off a decent Reed Richards. Mm-hmm. It looked good.
It really
looked good. And I want to say, I read on Twitter that he has been confirmed to come to be the
Reed
Richards. I was Twitter, so who knows? But
yeah, it's Twitter. Take it with a grain of salt.
And what is this? A Dimension 616, I believe he is returning for this.
So 616, as we learn in this, is the Prime, time,
our universe, our
MCU, as we know.
Yeah.
So Kayla still hoping that John Krasinski is another, so he can come back, because she's clear. I mean, listen, John Krasinski, handsome fella, looking really good in that Fantastic Four suit. But I was a little worried that I was like, is this just like a one-off to appease the fan casting, and there'll be somebody else whenever they do it?
Even if it is, I mean. It was great.
Yes.
It was really cool to see. When he came into being, or whatever he did, teleported in, I was like, oh, I can't believe it. It's like, it's really him.
Yeah.
They did it. And I was so excited, because I've known since Quiet Place, I think, around the time he did Quiet Place, people were like, he needs to be Mr. Fantastic. He needs to direct the Fantastic Four. And now John Watts isn't doing Fantastic Four. I wonder if they'll give to John Krasinski to do. And I was just waiting. I was waiting for Emily Blunt to show up as Sue Storm. It didn't happen. I was almost waiting for
I think they're going to save that, right? It was very clearly, this was giving you a little bit We're not going to give you the whole thing. As far as I know, in the comics, the Illuminati is kind of a select group of superheroes that kind of have to make the tough decisions, like killing their Doctor Strange. It's not. It also seemed like it was also their Avengers, but in the comics, Illuminati is not the Avengers. It's just like a select group of superheroes that kind of make the tough decisions for all the superheroes or whatever.
Like a superior court.
Let's talk about Peggy Carter's death. It's Peter's book. Now we have 2 Captain Carters. But I loved her showdown. I love that she got to say the line, "I could do this all day." That was awesome. And a pretty epic way to go, I guess, if you're Captain America. A more extreme version of what we saw in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, right? Or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with the shield. But what about her death? I thought it was she got to be a badass, but also she was gonna die.
It was pretty apparent that once Reed went, or once the Black Bolt went, then it was like, okay, here we go.
Yep.
Like you just know they're all gonna go.
Yep.
But yeah, it's it's the fun of having an alternate dimension and being able to bring these characters elsewhere. But it's like they just allowed Sam Raimi just to go to town. And I've heard about this R-rated cut that they have out there.
Ooh.
I don't know if they'll release that, but I can see Peggy Carter's death being like more graphic. Like you'll actually see.
Oh yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they just kind of showed her.
And then Professor X's death.
Dang, I know.
He got it bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So okay. There's some stuff going online where people were complaining that it was pretty hard for a PG-13 movie. Which I mean, with Black Bolt and Professor X and Peggy and the giant eyeball.
Oh, you're right. But the scenes cut before like you really saw the gore. Like the eyeball coming out, it cut without you seeing it. Right?
But then it cuts the other angle where it's falling from
the
sky and landing on like cars and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So but the thing is, it's like I remember the folks on Twitter were very mad that they weren't releasing the R-rated cut, and then it seems like the same folks on Twitter were complaining because it's PG-13 and too hard, and it's like, I mean, we're all grown-ups. I can see.
But I guess if you
I can see like if you took your kids, yeah. But I mean, that's not Marvel's fault. If the MPAA says, "Hey, this is going to be PG-13," you should still look into it.
Yes.
Like as a parent, I feel like you should look into it.
Versus a lot of times, I think parents are like PG-13. It's still fine. There might be there's the one F word and maybe some slight sexual content or whatever and some violence, but it'll be fine. But this one was definitely like, no, you should probably be 13 before because this. I don't know. I'm trying to
see an alternate. You see an alternate Doctor Strange fall on a wrought iron fence and get impaled. Like there's stuff in here.
But that happens in it counts extended cut of Lord of the Rings. Never mind. I was thinking the Saruman death, but
the whole last act of this movie, Doctor Strange is a walking corpse missing half his face, and you can see into his teeth and stuff. And I could just see Sam Raimi at every corner being like, "Well, they did it in Dark Knight."
True.
Like, and he, it's like, it's just funny because it felt to me all of the sort of scary stuff and gore and violence and stuff reminded me of like something like a Goosebumps. Like it's like skeletons and ghosts and demons and monsters. It's not people cutting each other's heads off. Yeah, that Doctor Strange did get impaled on the fence, but I mean, they probably had this insane cut and took it to the MPA and just trimmed.
Yep.
And trimmed.
I think they did.
Trimmed. And just to the hair where they got the PG-13 and they're like, okay, cool. This is the one we're releasing.
Exactly. And I think JT calls it well. It's like they walked the line. They really walked the line. They just like to the millisecond of the edit, to make
like
sure it
frames, like
yeah.
frames of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that, I mean, seeing a dude's head implode, is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. But I liked it. I'm a grown up. I've watched Sam Raimi movies for years. Those have been rated R.
And
Even like Drag Me to Hell.
But like, I don't like scary movies. And I was
Yeah, I'm
fine
not
with
a
it. Like it had good jump scares. Like it was scary. It was
fun stuff.
exactly, and that's what Sam Raimi I think does so well. He has the humor in the horror, and I think that's kind of
Yeah.
his secret sauce. And I think
Yeah.
he was perfect for this because everything kind of had that feel to it. Yes, it was scary. Yes, I was like, this is graphic, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
um,
It's a cartoon.
mm-hmm. Yep, very much so.
I mean, yeah, that third eye, I think, was the most disturbing thing.
Agreed.
It is.
The thing is, my one problem with the third eye, that when he got it at the end, because he was holding or used the dark hold, and it sticks with you. So that was like the last scene, which again is another like classic kind of Sam Raimi into the movie, kind of like, oh, like that was perfect Sam Raimi.
The original ending of Army of Darkness, the ending of
Yes.
Evil Dead,
Yep.
Evil Dead 2, all of those, yeah.
Yep. It's perfect, pitch perfect. Then the mid-credit scene kind of evaporates that because he's got control of it
he's
now.
just walking around,
like, let's go.
Can I tell you something that I loved about that credit scene?
Sure.
So when I think of Doctor Strange, the comics, I think of like 1970s, 80s black light poster looking Doctor Strange, like psychedelic Kirby dots, like black light posters.
Yeah.
And when Charlize Theron, who okay, cool, awesome, opens up that hole in the whatever, the other side of that hole looked like a blacklight painting. It was dark with like neon lines, and that's what I've been waiting to see.
Yep.
That's like, this movie's pretty psychedelic. I think I like that Sam Raimi pushed the horror elements and made it more psychedelic with like smoke and monsters and everything was like crazy colors. I like that a lot more than the first Doctor Strange, which felt just like Inception, where buildings were multiplying and folding, and it wasn't so much colorful and psychedelic. It felt very like architectural and very angular, where this felt like more smoky. And
but that place is I think the same realm that Dormammu was in at the end of Doctor Strange. Because in the comics it's Clea. I look up Charlize Theron plays Clea. I think it's Dormammu's niece or something like that in the comics. But what are you laughing at or something?
It's Dormammu having a niece.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well,
kind of funny.
I think the comic one is a bit different than the one that we got, that big kind of god character. But anyway, I agree. I thought it looked really cool, and it does have me excited for Doctor Strange 3 for sure.
I hope Raimi comes back.
Right? So do you think Raimi has to do another Doc Strange, or is it going to be somebody else?
Listen, Sam Raimi sequels, I know this would be a third one, but Sam Raimi sequels, like Evil Dead 2 and Spider-Man 2, are like two of his best movies. So for him to take a second crack at this and just go like, be more familiar with the characters now, like this is a story that he clearly is set up for a third one to kind of move on. So I think he'll be more comfortable and maybe push the limits a little more. I just based on that dimension that she opened up, it looked so psychedelic, and that's what I want. I want bright colors. I liked that Black Bolt looked straight out of the comic. I liked that Reed Richards looked straight out of the comic. The big yellow chair, like with Spider-Man No Way Home, him having the Steve Ditko suit at the end, like it's time. I was hoping he had the yellow gloves in this. He did in a previous movie.
He did.
But I was like, let's get into huge collar Doctor Strange. Let's get into like the real like disco era psychedelic, colorful stuff and Charlize Theron's outfit, super bright purple.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's make it look like a classic Kirby like thing.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think
Right.
I like this call here by Charlie. Honestly, I feel like Raimi's whole horror career was totally influenced by the old Marvel Ditko horror comics and Doctor Strange books.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, right? Kind of has that
Right.
feel to it. I'd rather have him do a Spider-Man 4.
Yeah. Hey,
wouldn't that be
you
cool?
can do both.
Got his original Spider-Man 4, and if he does like the Spider-Man 4 with, that'd be cool.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayla loved her costume, Clea's.
Yeah.
Oh, the cartoon universes, they flew through the multiverses, all those multiverses. So that kind of could say like the What If series may just be a 2D animated universe, which is kind of cool.
Right. Did you see the Savage Land? I noticed the Savage Land. As they were going through all those universes and tumbling, there was dinosaurs. So I assumed it was Savage Land. And there's the paint one. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have already picked it apart.
Oh yeah.
And know what everything is. I just got done seeing it, so I haven't had a chance to really look it up too much. But yeah, I could see the cartoon universe living in the What If era because it did have that sort of 3D cell shaded look. It wasn't a full on 2D animated thing.
Yep.
But it definitely looked more colorful.
Yep.
But it went by so fast. I wanted to see what that Doctor Strange outfit looked like.
Yep. Dartherian love this call out here because I agree. The talk of incursion sounds like they're leading phase 4 towards the Secret Wars event, are folding in the mutants into the main universe. They're telegraphing it really. So the whole incursions thing, what we saw in Loki, Kang being the big bad, that'll be the whatever. Like this whole thing is all being teed up for a Secret Wars event is like the big conclusion, like, you know, Endgame and Infinity Wars were the conclusion to the previous phases. But thoughts on that? Thoughts on this being set up for that as the big ending? I think it's a really epic ending, even more epic than Endgame if they can pull it off. But thoughts around that, Ralph?
But they're doing it though, right? Because we saw, what was the end of what movie was that? It was was it Captain Marvel? Where at the end you have the Skrulls with Nick Fury.
Yep.
So it looks like it is leading towards that. I should probably watch Eternals. I don't know if it fits in with any of this stuff, but I guess because it's one of those things where I'm like really one of the reasons why I went to go see this movie is because of Sam Raimi. Like that was the big draw for me, not Marvel, not Doctor Strange.
Yep.
It was Sam Raimi. So whatever and then the next movie's Thor. So I'm in on that one too because I like Taika Waititi and I really like Ragnarok. Beyond that, I don't know what's coming out that I'm excited for.
I think it's Ant-Man or whatever the next Ant-Man is, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's a Marvel fatigue. So if they keep on doing stuff like this where it's like, I mean, they got Raimi. Oh, Guardians, I guess. Guardians 3 will be good.
Oh, you're right. And Guardians 3 is a must watch, right? Because it's what's
James Gunn. They just finished up shooting yesterday, I believe, on Guardians 3. So that's probably going to be next summer, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, man. It's Thor, between Thor and Guardians, they can set up Secret Wars. I feel like, yeah.
Danny Elfman was your draw. Who you kidding, Ralph? Can we just talk about Danny Elfman's score? I thought the score was fantastic.
I really enjoyed it. And can I tell you, like, it's been since Oz the Great and Powerful that they've, been together.
Oh, really?
And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, they first started with Darkman. And, I mean, they had a falling out after Spider-Man 2. It was nasty.
Really?
If you guys ever want to read some fun stuff, go just look up Danny Elfman, Sam Raimi, like Spider-Man 2. Danny Elfman was not happy with how Sam Raimi was doing Spider-Man 2. He was really, I'm assuming it was stress. But Danny Elfman essentially said, I don't know who took over his body, but this is not my friend. Like
Uh-huh.
he is a terror and he's impossible to work with. And I refuse to do anything else with him. And so he
Dang.
didn't do Spider-Man 3. Christopher Young did that. And then he didn't do Drag Me to Hell. He was gone for a bit and then returned with Sam Raimi for Oz the Great and Powerful. And it was like, oh, thank God they got back together. Like,
Yeah.
so there's something kind of special about their collaboration. Because it started back with Darkman.
Yeah.
And that's what 32 years ago. And I really like all the work that Danny Elfman's done. If you haven't heard like the score to Simple Plan, like it's the most un-Elfman score you've heard, and it's really, really good. That movie's amazing. Probably Sam Raimi's best film. Not my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like Evil Dead 2 or Darkman, but if you get a chance to watch A Simple Plan, Danny Elfman's score is amazing. His score in this I really liked, and I feel like I found that there was a lot of scenes towards the beginning where there was just conversations and talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my mind would wander from the conversations, just listen to the music. The scene with the music notes.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I thought as a musician, as a learned musician, like studied that in college. That was my degree before I needed to finish quicker and got a history degree instead. I thought it was really cool. I loved it. But
I like it. I like the concept. I almost like the execution. There was something I feel like I don't know which came first, and I want to say that the visuals came first and Danny Elfman had to score it.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
From what I understand, friend of the channel, Ryan Dole, who's been on the show a few times, he does
Mr. S word
for a lot of Marvel movies. And usually that's very last minute. Like he's working on Thor right now, and they're still working on it. Like it's not done. So so it's very last minute.
Yeah, I know stuff.
But it might have been score first.
It might. Oh, if it's score first, that's fine. I feel like it would have been cool if it was a piece of music. I don't know, like I would have liked the notes to be kind of jumbled at first, but like get a rhythm to it and get it going. Like I feel like it didn't last long enough. Like I wanted it to be a full symphony. Give me like a good at least 4 minutes of that, and have it sort of transition into a full music video.
Yeah.
With the correct notes and everything flying. But for me, it seemed like they did the visual first and Danny Elfman had to score to the visual. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. It was interesting and I'd like to see it. I'd like to see how that was done.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's some sort of behind the scenes on it. Super interesting concept.
Yeah.
It was like Sam Raimi doing Fantasia or something.
I think that's just why it tickled me just because I was just like, oh crap, they're using
your ivories.
What's that tickle? But yeah, I thought it was cool, and I liked how it kind of jumbled up the score, right? Because they're just kind of throwing the music and kind of throwing.
But I wanted it to get to a point where they became so good at doing this
that it
became like a piece of music. But like not, I'm going to use this as an example, but like dueling banjos, but not the dueling banjo song, but where it's like one side, where the music is like the themes are going into each other, but a lot of it sounded like music notes crashing and sort of some classical music, like I think was in there.
It was Beethoven's Fifth and another score. I can't. It was Fifth and another classical piece that I couldn't remember.
That's why I feel like it wasn't scored first, that the visuals were done first. I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Fifth, it's the most famous symphony ever. Right. So it's easy. Like anybody, even if you don't even know music, you know Beethoven's Fifth. Like even my kid the other day was just singing. Like he's 4 years old, never had heard Beethoven's Fifth, but was doing da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. So there's a that's how ingrained it is into the consciousness. So that's probably why that was used. See, I'm fine with the musical note scene length.
I mean, you know me. I could sit there and watch that for a good long while. I saw a Danny Elfman concerto 2 weeks ago.
I just want to see Danny Elfman shirtless playing guitar in Oingo Boingo. That's my
I've seen that in 1997, the farewell tour.
at what's the thing? Coachella, I believe, this past weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, it was two. It was no, 2 weekends and 3 weekends ago.
That's right. You're right. Yes,
I did it twice. So,
I thought it was cool. I thought it was really neat. You should have gone to Coachella. Sure. Like plane tickets are so expensive. Our Comic-Con trip, this will be the most expensive Comic-Con trip we have ever done, ever. So that'll be it. There's no but you can go to Coachella really easy, right? Because it's right near you.
Oh yeah, I'll just drive there. I'm sure tickets aren't cheap.
I couldn't tell this was Danny Elfman. It definitely had Elfman vibes for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I knew it was him going into it, obviously. Sure. And then so you kind of hear like when you know who it is,
you're right.
Listen for it. I feel like if I didn't know it was him, I still might pick it up. But my favorite thing that he does this a lot, is when he's either scoring opening or closing credits, he'll put a flourish in the music over his credit, and it cracks me up every time. in the end credits of Doctor Strange, the music builds up towards his credit, drops out during his credit, and then comes back in. It's so hilarious. He does it pretty much every time.
That's awesome.
And it makes me so happy because other composers do it as well, but it just cracks me up that they have the power,
of course,
sort of allow their name to be showcased like that. I mean, who's going to stop him?
What are your thoughts on him leveraging Michael Giacchino's movie One theme in this film? Did you think did the Giacchino Doc Strange theme?
I mean, I could tell you. I know. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, but did you like the way incorporated or Elfman brought in the theme?
It's weird because it's arranged by like Steve Bartek and it's Danny Elfman doing Michael's themes. But at the beginning, when he first leaves the wedding and turns into his thing and they play the music, it's really funny hearing Danny Elfman do Giacchino's theme because it sounds like Michael's music, like Michael's Doctor Strange theme. It sounds like him. Like I've been listening to film scores my entire life, and so you can tell who the composer is, or I can tell who the composer is just by listening to the music, and it's really fun. Danny Elfman played in the first version of the Justice League movie that came out. Williams, Superman, Hans Zimmer's Wonder Woman, and his own Batman theme, and it's just fun. It's fun hearing how he arranges those and how he sort of interprets it. So it was a lot of fun. I know that Michael said that he wanted his theme to be used.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. He used it.
That's awesome.
It was great.
That's cool. It was cool. All right. Let's see. What have we covered? The Illuminati. We covered the music fight. We covered America Chavez.
Heads.
What's that?
Exploding heads.
Exploding heads. Yeah, we covered the fight.
I like that Rachel McAdams' husband was so stoked to see Doctor Strange in action. Yes. That was fun. I like the humor. Oh, so I didn't know who it was, and Stevie didn't know who it was. We didn't know who it was. Who's the guy in the church?
Oh, that was like one of the doctors from the first movie. It was like, I think was that the doctor that he had to come in and like, save? He was doing bad on that bullet injury or something. He was a doctor that was in his in his wing or whatever in the first movie.
I was gonna rewatch it last night, but I'm like, I remember. I don't want to sit here and watch him train all over again, and the Dormammu and I remember all of that stuff.
The problem with that film for me, it was election night 2016, and it's just that one just is a tough one to go back to. It is some
really
flashbacks. Yeah, we went to go see that in 2016. 2016 was a tough year for us on fronts. Such as seeing it, we need more plant and flower covered cities and skyscraper waterfalls.
And pizza balls.
I agree. Like that whatever that universe is, I want to go to there. That was awesome.
Yeah. Free food. Oh, they didn't have free food there though. They had to pay because they didn't pay Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
But they did have pizza balls, and pizza balls look pretty good. Even though I feel like there's a major design flaw. I feel like it should be crust on the outside because your hands are going to get so greasy from the cheese and the pepperoni.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it should be like it should be a ball filled with the gooey pizza parts.
Yeah. But visually, I figured it out.
Hashtag more pizza balls.
There's an episode of the Detroiters. If you've ever seen the Detroiters, if you haven't seen Detroiters, check out the Detroiters, where the two guys, Sam Richardson and Tim Robinson, they're going into Little Caesars, and there's a lab where they're making a giant pizza ball. And as soon as the people in the lab see that they're being watched, they quickly close the blinds. And so that reminded me of that, pizza balls.
JG says, but then you don't know it's pizza. That's a good point.
Yeah, okay. I think it worked as a visual gag for sure.
Here's my thing though. What about pizza pockets?
Yeah, like Totino's, like pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls, pizza pockets.
Yeah, calzones
pockets with pizza.
I think it was more for the visuals.
That's true. Yeah. They look like zombie scraps. Detroiters stand for life. Michigan love Detroiters.
Guys, watch Detroiters. It's great. Have you seen I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson?
I have not.
On Netflix?
Mm-mm.
You gotta watch it. So how about that Avatar 2 trailer?
Okay. Confession time.
Okay, we can get to that in a bit if you want.
Well, no, I haven't seen it yet, but our theater usually has 30 minutes of trailers.
Yeah.
So it's gotten to the point now, Colleen, because we live across the street from the movie theater. So we'll leave. Sometimes we won't even leave our house till a few minutes after start time, and then we'll waltz into the movie theater. It takes literally like 4 minutes to get to the movie theater. We waltz into the movie theater, we get our popcorn, we get our drinks, and we go sit down. And even then, by the time we sit down, it's like another 15 minutes of trailers. Well, Doc Strange, for some reason, I think we walked in about 15 minutes after start time. The movie had already started by the time we were walking in there. I was like, what the hell? Cinemark, what are you doing?
Oh man.
You can't be doing this.
How much did you miss?
It was the dream sequence at the beginning. We came in as the dream sequence started, so we didn't miss much, but still.
Yeah, it's a pretty cold open. They have the Marvel logo, and then boom, you're just right in the thick of that. So, the Avatar trailer was fine. I'm with Kayla, and I'm with Darthurian on this.
Both can be true.
Because here's the thing, like, it looks the same as the first one. Like, there's not a lot of dialogue in the trailer. It's just visuals.
Sure.
And it's like, yes, weird rock formations, beautiful clear water, blue cats, and blue skies. And it's like it's all visually amazing to look at. But I don't know what I don't know. Is it this time? This time the water's getting polluted, so we need to stop that from happening.
And it's like 10 years in the future from the first film, right?
I don't know. Visually, it looked identical.
Well, here's the thing.
It's like, remember in like the 90s, they would have like DVDs of just like CG landscapes and CG, like, sort of, they're almost like screensavers, but just a DVD would watch with like that's what it looks like.
Yep.
Really nice, really pretty. The shots look amazing, but when it come down to it, it's the blue cats and the dragons.
Yeah. But here's my thing with like Avatar, and this has always been the case for me with that film. It was one of the most immersive, amazing movie experiences I've ever had in a movie theater, because we have a full-size IMAX here in Raleigh, 3D. It was the best 3D film I've ever seen in my life. So it's like a ride. It's like an amusement park ride that goes for 2 hours. That's why it felt so amazing. But the story was done a billion times, right? Dances with Wolves, like it's been done a million times.
Fern Gully.
Like it's not an original story by any stretch of the imagination. It was just an incredible ride in a theater. I have not watched that film since I saw it in the movies, because I have no desire to see it again.
Right.
Because it's not in an IMAX. It's not with the 3D glasses. It's not this whole experience. And so with this new Avatar movie, I could care less what the story is. I just want it to be a good ride again, and then be able to go to my IMAX theater and see it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
And I think maybe that's okay, because it did pretty well, right? So is it still the big no?
No.
But
yeah, there's a couple more. But the thing is, at the time, it felt like a proof of concept.
Yes,
it felt more like a proof of concept than a story.
Yep.
And then here's more of that place.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
But but again, like I'm fine. Like I'm good for a sequel to a great ride. That's fine by me. I'll go and have a great time, I assume. I'm sure there'll be a lot more tricks and things that'll make me go like, whoa! And that's fine. And that's all I need from an Avatar movie, because that's all that I needed from the first one.
I don't think the trailer's dropped online yet, but when it does, maybe do a reaction.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe, or something, or maybe a quick discussion on it, because it's I mean, this movie was like the biggest deal of all time, but I feel like
it's been so long now, right? Like it was just like not even a sequel, but like 10 sequels and all this stuff. And so it's been so long that we just have assumed that James Cameron's never going to finish it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Neat movie. I couldn't tell exactly. I don't know, the guy that became one of the blue people. Like it's like
Sully was the main guy, and then Zoe Saldana was the name of the other one.
But it is the gold standard again. No 3D movie, because remember, like at the time it was like, this is 3D movies, this is cinema now.
Yeah.
No other movie has figured it out the same way. It's all been kind of this After Effect thing, and it's never landed the same way. Oh, that's the only movie that to me like nailed that whole 3D thing that was a big deal a decade ago. Right?
For me, Tron Legacy was phenomenal.
Yeah, you're right. Tron Legacy.
I saw Tron Legacy in 3D IMAX,
right.
But I mean, I was more like, all right, I want to be.
But Tron Legacy, I've watched many times since the movie. It wasn't like a thing. Like I felt like that was its only gimmick and why I wanted to see it. You know.
Yeah.
But I agree. Tron Legacy looked good, but Avatar is just another level. Avatar, the 3D experience.
Right. But I feel like instead of doing Avatar 2, I mean, the story has to be phenomenal. The next trailer has to tell me what the story is, and it has to be great, and it has to elevate the first one. Yep. Otherwise, don't make Avatar 2. Do your next proof of concept and create a whole new world that's going to blow us away. I don't need, you can eat a whole bag of saltwater taffy and it's great, but you don't want another bag of saltwater taffy. Give me something else. You gave me as much as you can with this. I don't know if I want more of that.
That's where I don't know. Like, I feel like that should have been proof of concept then, but nobody has done anything with that. And so if nobody's going to do anything with it, what's the point of doing another proof of concept? Because nobody could figure it out besides him, apparently.
Yeah, but I mean,
so just do your Avatar thing. That's fine. I'll go see it. I'll go see every Avatar movie ever, because it'll be an amazing experience.
Like, this is his second sequel he's done. All his other movies don't have sequels. He did Terminator 2,
even though he didn't make the first one.
Right. I mean, I'm hoping, man. I listen. There's only one movie that James Cameron's done that I didn't care for, and
Is it
And
Titanic?
I would just like to, yeah, it's Titanic. I almost swore. It's so cheesy. Listen, everybody in the chat right now, go tweet out and send out to the world to come follow this channel so that we can get to the point where there is this Screen Geeks After Dark.
Yes. I will say, when I brought it up to Colleen, she was like, no, you cannot do another After Dark. I don't want to not see you for like multiple nights a week. I was like, well, maybe if there's enough response, maybe we could do it every now and then. And she was like, and she gave me the look. But I'm sure.
And you know what's great? You know what's great about this, Colleen, is right now where I am, it's only 7:00 at night. I can do this all day. I can do this all day. I'm going to keep your buddy up late into the wee hours of the morning.
Oh my God.
Can I tell you, by the way, that Geek Dad Life After Dark is amazing. I'm not much of a toy collector. Yet every week after week after week, me and Stevie at 6:00 our time sit on the couch and watch you guys talk about Motu until your faces turn blue. But we love it and it's great. But After Dark has been so enjoyable. It's so loose. Not that Toy Geeks isn't loose, but
sure.
There's something about John where I feel like he just kind of leans back a little bit more during After Dark.
Yeah.
So now when we watch the regular Toy Geeks, it feels like John's really trying hard not to swear. Like he's using his concentration because he feels so much looser After Dark. It's hilarious. I love it. I love how, I don't know how you do it because all of my shows are explicit. I don't really care what gets said on our shows, on my show, but it's just funny watching you guys just kind of let loose, and it comes so naturally. You guys swearing just comes so naturally. And I've had conversations with you. You've sworn on my shows several times.
Yeah.
But it's just it's so funny because listening to the Lost podcast that you did and Toy Geeks.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny hearing. It's normal for Jay not to swear. So I still find it endlessly entertaining when you do. And I do like how effortless it is.
I appreciate that. I really do. Smash the like button if you haven't smashed it yet.
But there's bigger gaps in the toy discussion on After Dark. It's like a really nice mix of like
it's a hang, right?
I can't believe you versus and I think last week you had Ryan Dole on, and you guys were doing an awful lot of talking about that Batman movie, which appears on screens. And I was like, what is this? You just have free reign to talk about screens on Toy Geeks?
I was like, that's my domain, all right.
I jumped into the chat and I said, I could jump on if you want.
I completely missed it. And then Colleen, like the second I went upstairs, she was like, Ralph messaged. I was like, oh, dang it. So I texted you, right? I was like, I didn't see it. I promise. I would have let Brian.
The only reason I did that is because we had our Fireball Island Zoom game, and the bed was already made. Usually Sundays, this might not be as. I was like, oh, the bed's made. These guys are talking about Batman. Like, come on.
Darth has a good question here. So weekly Screen Geeks for Obi-Wan. Now you would be doing it for your own Star Wars channel.
It's not this. I mean, if you guys head over to liveactionstarwars.com right now, that takes you to the YouTube page. I have, I believe, 6 live streams set up for the month of May, and we've already done one this month. Yeah. And my schedule is tight. Yeah. My schedule is real tight. And they went and moved Obi-Wan episode 1 away from Star Wars Day, which is May 25th, which is a Wednesday. Great. I could have done it then. But they moved it to Friday, which is no bueno, because they're releasing 2 that Friday, which means I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning, watch 1, get a live episode recorded.
Yep.
in time for me to get up and go to Celebration. And then the next day on Saturday, we got to do episode 2. So I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning, do the show live at 7:30 in the morning, and get to Celebration. So it's like, I'm like, oh, you're so close to being perfect by just doing it on Wednesdays.
I know, right?
So anyway,
Well,
yeah. So I feel like, I think what we did with Book of Boba Fett
yes.
was I covered every episode as they dropped, same
Mhm.
day as they drop, live on Live Action Star Wars with James. Jay's been a guest, I think, 3 times.
Yep.
And we had Jay
Can I
and
be a
John.
guest on one of them, or no? Am I not now because his schedule changed? The schedule changed.
No, you can.
Okay.
We right now I'm in the mode of how am I going to get all this done right? And then yeah, we still want guests. So you just have to do it like 10:30 your time. So anyway, so what we did with Book of Boba Fett is I just did our episodes, and then we did a Screen Geeks covering the entire series. But
yeah, and we'll
check
probably
out there's an episode we did last month with you and John where we talked about Star Wars collecting, and it was one of my favorite shows.
That was a good one. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot.
It was so much fun. So yeah, liveactionstarwars.com.
But I think for the Geek Dead Life 2, I'll probably do like little posts, like just me sharing my thoughts in a short, maybe 5-10 minute video. Just me turn on the camera and share my thoughts on an episode. But if you want like what's that?
It takes me about 5 minutes to make the bed. So if you need me, just let me know. I can be ready.
I want people to go to Live Action Star Wars and check out your wonderful channel and subscribe to your wonderful channel.
Yeah.
Because
so the real time crunch,
amazing work.
I really
covered so much.
I really like that show. But those first 2 episodes are going to be a bit of a time crunch because of Celebration, and then we'll have our normal Wednesday schedule, and I'll try to get guests to come in and stuff. But coordinating this stuff is once you get into the weekly TV show, it's tough coordinating. I know you do it with Toy Geeks. I know last week you were like, what are we going to talk about? What's the main topic?
Okay, it's kind of the same for tomorrow, Ralph. Like I there's some things. It's Mother's Day. I don't know. We'll see. There hasn't been much revealed.
Do an episode with Cindy. Talk about what it's like to deal with a kid who's collecting all these wines and complains that he doesn't have a hook sword or whatever. What was the one that you were mad about?
I got the hook sword for Christmas, but it broke, and then it was always trying to find it again. I could never find it. It was my rosebud.
Isn't there something that Jack like threw away, or you were mad at Jack for something, or Jack was mad about getting you something? Oh no, wait! You didn't want to get Zach something because you're
cranky about everything. Jack's just
crazy. You didn't get him a Beyblade. You didn't get your boy a Beyblade, but you got a Optimus Prime trailer.
I did. It's not that I didn't get it. Zach gets a lot. I know it may not seem like it, but I literally take that kid to the flea market or whatever, and Colleen gets so mad at me for how many toys I buy my kids. And Colleen can attest to it. Like I get in so much trouble for how much I buy the kids.
Oh, I believe you.
But anyway,
I believe you.
Toys our mom got us. My mom got me Echo for Christmas. There you go.
My mom, I remember the day my mom drove me to the Toys R Us in Bell Gardens to pick up Fireball Island.
Amazing.
It was a huge day. It was so big. It's still big, but I mean,
Fireball Island. I don't think people realize if you don't have it, it is, I think, the biggest game board box of all time.
I've shown this on the show, right?
I think so.
I can't even fit it in the frame.
It's huge.
I'm 6 foot tall, and this is as wide as my shoulders.
It's massive. So I have a bunch of vintage board games, and I have a just a shelf thing that I put them all in. And again, out of all of them, every single board game ever, it is significantly bigger than maybe Crossfire. The original Crossfire is a little bit longer, but with like a total area, it's gigantic. And yes, Kayla, for our podcast, like non-Geek Dead Life world, Caleb's coming out. I think a lot of the people, we do a Fireball Island tournament because I have 2 Fireball Island boards. and that's coming up next weekend. I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, I don't get to play tomorrow because of Mother's Day. I know we're running a little bit long.
We are. I told Colleen, I was like, I'll be done now, I promise.
Colleen, if you forgive me, I just want to show something off. I've had this for years.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this since like 1998, and I don't know if it's significant or anything. But so this is this toy that I got from a man named Kenny Sanford. And when you pull on it, a little dragon comes out and bites your finger. Handmade, handcrafted by Kenny Sanford in 1998.
98 or 88?
98. Kenny Sanford, 1998. Okay. This is somewhere in the movie Small Soldiers.
It is?
Yeah. So Kenny Sanford, he used to make he makes props. He created the original Wally World glasses with the antlers.
Oh my God.
That's in Chris. Yeah, he worked for Warner Brothers. And he gave me this and he says, I don't know, there's like this scene where there's like a old-fashioned toy maker.
There is, yeah. And, the shop where the toys he accidentally he like steals or didn't steal the toys, wherever the kid, I don't know. Anyway, so it's in that shop.
Yeah, he made a bunch of the toys for it, like airplanes and stuff. But yeah, he said this was in the shop and he gave it to me.
Amazing.
So I it's been on my shelf forever. And the other day I was dusting. I'm like, I can't believe I never showed this to Jay. Anyway, there.
Next time I'm at your house, I'm stealing it, just so you know.
And sorry, Colleen.
All right. Well, I think that's as good as good a place as any to close this thing out. Thank you everybody for hanging out on the show tonight. I think I didn't put up the Patreon thanks, and I don't think this is fully updated. We've gotten a lot more patrons since I did this one, so I apologize. I'll have a newer one next time, but I have 75 families staying with me right now for Mother's Day. Also, my son Zach's first communion tomorrow, so that's why I bring it down here. But thank you to all our patrons. If you'd like to be on Patreon today, see your name on this list, join Patreon at patreon.com/geekdadlife. I don't know, we have to figure out a goal to do After Dark for this show.
1,000 followers.
Yeah, 1,000.
Live action Star Wars. Yeah. But on live action Star Wars. Go to live action Star Wars and look at the episode with watch the episode with Jay and John. I stumped John live on the air with this R2D2. So if you want to know about this R2D2 and where it came from, watch. Ooh, I got a 6.
Thank you for hanging out. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Geek That Life 2, Electric Boogaloo, click on that subscribe button. If we hit 1,000, we'll do a Screen Geek After Dark.
Can I suggest the new batch?
The new batch?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Right. Oh,
Geek
yeah.
That Life 2, the new batch.
Oh, my goodness. All right, yeah. Leave a comment, hit that like button. And until next time, hasta luego. Say goodbye. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.